Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell. I'd appreciate it majorly. So, it's pretty interesting but short article here. It's an exclusive over at the Daily Mail that claims that Bill and Hillary, and actually Chelsea too, Clinton used to frequently visit and stay at Jeffrey Epstein's New Mexico property. It's the details are not real. It's not real specific. Makes several various claims, but it basically states that they would stay there like every year after leaving the White House. It doesn't say like how long that continued. I mean, if that's even true, like how long? I mean, like up until how recently? I mean, like as recently as until before he was arrested again. I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't say anything like that, but it does say it says Bill and Hillary Clinton stayed at Jeffrey Epstein's notorious baby-making ranch. This is the New Mexico ranch that supposedly it was reported that he had this crackpot idea about impregnating 20 women with his DNA, with his sperm, I guess, to make, to like help the human race and make a bunch of babies that have, that are his offspring. He was reportedly he wanted to do that at this ranch. But again, it says Bill and Hillary Clinton stayed at Jeffrey Epstein's notorious baby-making ranch almost every year after they left the White House, according to the disgraced financier's estate manager. So basically, this Chris White for the Daily Mail spoke to two people, the ranch manager and like a security expert, an IT person that was hired by the ranch manager to set up security cameras throughout the main property, as well as several guest homes that they kind of call located like I think like a mile south of the property, which is where supposedly Bill and Hillary and Chelsea too stayed when they would come. Called the Cowboy Village, where there was a number of homes and other buildings that were basically like replicas of the 1800s, like a schoolhouse. There's some of it pictured here, and guest homes, that was supposedly like a mile south of the main huge mansion property. I mean, it's a huge estate. I don't know exactly how many acres. It had its own private airstrip. I mean, everybody knows that Jeffrey Epstein had a couple of planes, that throughout his career and life. So, but that's one of the claims is that Bill and Hillary Clinton stayed at Jeffrey Epstein's New Mexico ranch almost every year after they left the White House. The former president was Epstein's closest celebrity mate, and the Clintons, along with daughter Chelsea, visited Zorro Ranch a whole bunch of times. A former contractor who ran the IT system at the property told Daily Mail TV in an exclusive interview. The family visited the 10,000-acre estate in New Mexico desert often, but never stayed in the main house. Instead, the Clinton family bunked down in a special cowboy-themed village created by Epstein, which is a mile south of his own luxury mountaintop villa. They'd use one of the two guest houses, which look like they're straight out of the 19th century. So, continues, seen in an exclusive Daily Mail TV images. Seen in exclusive Daily Mail TV images, the guest homes are next to other traditional Wild West style buildings, such as an old schoolhouse and saloon bar. An American flag is raised high above the village, which is next door to Epstein's private airstrip, where he arrived on his private planes, including his infamous Lolita Express. This is all according to security expert Jared Kellogg. That's who it seems as though they're talking to directly. But I'm not sure if they talked to the ranch manager as well, who was brought in by long-standing ranch manager Bryce Gordon to improve security and set up a camera system at the house and Cowboy Village. The significance of this is, it's just the usual, but it definitely is in direct contradiction to what Bill Clinton has claimed. And in his, and when this became another huge story again, the statement that he put out through whatever spokesperson he used, which I'll review with you, but he claimed that he never visited any of these properties except Epstein's townhouse in Manhattan once in a sort of incidental way. And he claimed that he never went to his properties and that, he denied basically, all this. So whether or not this is true, we don't know. But I will say that these two individuals, other than speaking to this Daily Mail reporter, don't have exactly a huge financial interest in making this up. So let me back up. I missed some of it. No, I didn't. So, and there's not much more to it. There's not, like I said, there's not a ton of details. But this person, Jared Kellogg, he just specifically remembers speaking, how the ranch manager just spoke about it regularly, and that he wasn't even aware of who Epstein was, But what stuck out to him is that the ranch manager said Bill Clinton, comes here all the time. The Clintons come here all the time. When contacted by DailyMail.com for comment, Bill Clinton's press office referred us to a statement released over the summer, which I'll go to in a second. The statement denied he had ever visited any of Epstein's residence apart from once at Epstein's home in New York City. Daily Mail reached out to Hillary Clinton's office for comment as well. Kellogg, because, and that's another thing. This is claiming that both Bill and Hilary and Chelsea, stayed at Epstein's ranch almost every year, after leaving the White House for how long? He was president from, 1992 to 2000. Is that right? Something like that. That's correct. So for how long? I don't know if it's true. Kellogg said that at the time of his site walk of Epstein's property, he had barely any knowledge of Epstein's reputation, but he said Gordon spent most of the time boasting about the Clintons' frequent appearances at the estate. The ranch is one of several Epstein's homes where underage girls were flown in from all over the world. This is the Daily Mail. Saying that. The New York Times claimed the convicted pedophile confided in scientists that he planned to impregnate up to 20 women at a time at the ranch to improve the human race with his genes. Kellogg said, "My contact was Bryce Gordon. Their main concern was that there was no video surveillance on the property at all. I thought this was a simple request, as they wanted surveillance to protect their investment. It's a huge site. But what was weird was that the whole time I was on site, Bryce would be bragging about how the Clintons would visit the whole family, not just Bill, but Bill, his wife, their kid, and they would stay on the ranch itself. He had built this Western replica village with a saloon, barn houses, old school house, and when you're walking through it, it feels like you're walking through the 1800s. His biggest concern was monitoring and covering the area, so my main focus was on mounting cameras on poles to cover the driveways, walkways, the ins and outs of each house and facilities. It was like the West World. It's like they built a functioning movie set. They put a lot of thought and detail into it, the flooring and facilities in there. I was saying how cool the replica houses were. They're pretty neat, like the 1800s. He said, yeah, they're built for guests. We got a lot of visitors. It's really cool. The Clintons come out and hang out with Epstein. It sounded like a normal summer vacation. Epstein and Bill were once friends. In August, DailyMail.com revealed the convicted pedophile even had a bizarre portrait of Bill wearing a dress hanging on the wall of his New York mansion, which is that picture right there. And that's the extent of the article. But, this is the first time you're hearing somebody claiming that two things, that, it's in direct contradiction to what, the statement Bill Clinton has put out, denying ever visiting any of Epstein's properties other than the New York mansion townhouse on one occasion. And this is claiming that it's Hillary too, as well as Chelsea, almost every year after leaving the White House, which would have been in 2000, up until who knows when. We don't know if it's true. So, Bill Clinton's statement at the time that this was exploding over the summer, this huge story again about Epstein, before he, died or was killed, whatever you believe, in prison, by suicide or whether he was murdered. Former President Clinton on Monday issued a statement on new sex trafficking charges against billionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein, saying he knew nothing about the terrible crimes Epstein is accused of. Quote, President Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein is pleaded guilty to in Florida some years ago, or those with which he has been recently charged in New York. In 2002 and 2003, President Clinton took a total of 4 trips on Jeffrey Epstein's airplane, 1 to Europe, 1 to Asia, 2 to Africa, which included stops in connection with the work of the Clinton Foundation. Epstein had previously been tied to Clinton and President Trump. And that's pretty much, the statement was longer than that, but, that's all I pulled up, so. But that's pretty much the story there. Definitely a little interesting. Sharing it with you, even though I stumble through reading it. I'm not the greatest reader, excuse me. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. And I'll see you in the next video, man. Later, man.